Josh, I appreciate you, buddy. Yes, I'm ready too, man. That's funny. My wife and I are also ready. That's awesome, dude. I appreciate your support. I really do. It means a lot. And I replied to your comment from yesterday where you said Moses and Jesus did the 40 days. And my longest fast was 12 days with water only. I've done that three different times, and I've done a 9 day fast about, I think it's like nine times, 10 times. I'm about to start another 12-day fast. Something I'm gonna get off subject just for a minute and kind of talk about. There's things that everybody has an addiction. Everybody has something they're addicted to, and for me, it's never been alcohol or drugs or smoking. I've never smoked in my life, or it's never been anything like that. I joke and I told buddy of mine tonight that I'm addicted to my wife, which I guess is a good thing. But I put God first, and I said for me, it's been food. My whole life, it's just been I love food. I love to eat. I feel like there should be like 9 meals a day sometimes. So I've been working on self, and for me, the fast has been to do a like a factory reset, and I lose a bunch of weight, and then I try to come off of it using like chicken broth or beef broth, and focus on doing and eating the right things. And I think my body just it loves the food just as much as I do. So I've been going to the gym about twice a day. I need to start doing some more cardio and things, but yeah, my longest fast is 12 days. So, and it's not a bragging thing. It's just the spiritual aspect of that. After about the third day, it's really hard to explain to people. It's like you hear things clear. You might hear your spouse clear because she says I have selective hearing. The colors are brighter. I mean, the birds sing louder. It's really hard to explain. And usually around day 3 or 4, it's kind of like you hear that little spirit voice in here and your Holy Spirit voice. And it's amazing how connected you are to God. I, I think that's why I've fasted so many times because there's no distractions. There's no um, bad stuff in your body. Now, granted, it takes a little longer than 3 or 4 days to get all the toxins and things out of your body. But by eight, honestly, by day 4 or 5, I never think of food again. And I try to drink about a gallon of water a day, put a little electrolytes in there, some Himalayan salt. But yeah, the longest fast was 12 days. And the last time I did it, it's on my Instagram. I want to say it was like the middle of September until October 1st of just this last year. And I put it on Instagram because I had people asking me about it. And autophagy is great. Yeah, oh, absolutely, buddy. The autophagy part. And you know what? All the times fasting, I never knew what that was until about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it's amazing how it just resets your whole body and makes you healthier and all the other good things that go along with it. So let's get started. I appreciate everybody that jumps on and shares and likes this and kind of thing. But like I said, this is more of accountability for me. I made it to May of last year, and for the lack of better words, come hell or high water, I'm going to, unless the good Lord takes me home, I'm going to read every single day of my Bible, and I do my best to spend time with Him every day. I will tell you this, Josh, that I'm a firm believer of that God's a jealous God, but He asks of 10% of everything He gives us daily. So He wants us to tithe our earnings, kind of thing, 10% of what we make. And to be honest, I mean, I grew up in a home where my folks were both ministers, and I didn't do it. So up until this last year, I have been religiously the first thing I do when I get my check is I go and I tithe online, and I've noticed a difference in everything financially for me. And the other thing is time. We're offered 1,440 minutes in a day, and God's asking for 10% of everything He gives you daily. It says it in the Word, and when we get to it in the Bible, I'll make sure I emphasize that. And 1,440 minutes in a day, so 10% of that day is 2 hours and 24 minutes. And so I always ask people when I coach and mentor kind of thing about spiritually, are you giving God basically 2.5 hours of your day? And people say, I don't have time. Or they say, I can't afford to tithe. And my response is, you can't afford not to. So if you're in confusion or you have confusion in your life and you don't know which direction to turn, or there's relationship issues or money issues or things like that, I always tell people, how much time are you spending with God? This little 15 to 20 minutes, hopefully it's a part of your day, but what are you doing for the other 2 hours, I should say? And my radio stations on my car are all church stations. I listen to contemporary Christian music all day. I saw the Grammys the other day, and I didn't know who three-fourths of the people were, and I just stopped watching it. It did nothing for me. So, anyways, I'm not going to ramble. Let's get on with it. We'll do the Lord's Prayer, and then we'll jump into it. I appreciate you jumping on, by the way, you and the missus. So, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Tonight we are going to be reading in Exodus 28, 1 through 27, 22, 25, 1 through 30, Psalms 31, 1 through 5, and Proverbs 8, 1 through 11. So Moses went up on Mount Sinai yesterday, and the people, this is where things are going to start getting a little crazy with the coming down and worshiping false gods and kind of thing. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow. I'd try not to read ahead so I can stay with the story. So let's get into it. February 7th, Exodus 26, 1 through 27, 21. Make the dwelling itself the 10 panels of tapestry woven from the fine twisted linen, blue and purple scarlet material with an angel cherubim design. A skilled craftsmanship should do it. The panels of tapestry are each to be 46 feet long and 6 feet wide. Join 5 of the panels together and then the other 5 together. Make loops of blue along the edge of the outside of the panel of the first set and the same on the outside of the panel of the second set. Make 50 loops on each panel, then make 50 gold clasps and join the tapestries together so that the dwelling is one whole. Next, make tapestries of goat hair for a tent that will cover the dwelling. Make 11 panels of the tapestries. The length of each panel will be 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. Join 5 of the panels together and then the other 6. Fold the 6th panel double at the front of the tent. Now make 50 loops along the edge of the end of the panel and 50 loops along the edge of the joining panel. Make 50 clasps of bronze and connect the clasps with the loops, bringing the tent together. Hang half of the overlap of the tapestry panels over the rear of the dwelling. The 18 inches of overlap on either side will cover the sides of the tent. Finally, make a covering for the tapestries of tanned ram's skin dyed red over the covering of dolphin skins. The second time I've read that about dolphin skins, and somehow I missed that, and that's really weird that they used dolphin skins back then. I guess it's water resistant. I'm gonna have to Google that or read about that some more. Frame the dwelling with planks of ossia wood, each section of frame 15 feet long and 2 1/4 feet wide with 2 pegs for securing them. Make all the frames identical, 20 frames for the south side and 40 silver sockets to receive the 2 pegs. From each of the 20 frames, the same construction on the north side of the dwelling for the rear of the dwelling, which faces west. Make 6 frames with additional frames for the rear corners. Both of the 2 corners frames need to be double in thickness from top to bottom to fit in a single ring. 8 frames together with 16 sockets of silver, 2 under each frame. Now make crossbars of, I'll have to look that word up, ossia wood, 5 for the frames and 1 side for the dwelling, 5 for the other side, and 5 for the back side facing west. The center crossbar runs from one end to end halfway up the frame. Cover the frames with a veneer of gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. And cover the crossbars with a veneer of gold. Then put the dwelling together following the design you were shown on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue and purple and scarlet material and fine twisted linen. Have a design of angel cherubim woven into it by a skilled craftsman. Fasten it with gold hooks to 4 points of ossia wood, covered with a veneer of gold, set on 4 silver bases. After hanging the curtain from the clasps, bring the chest of the testimony in behind the curtain. So oh my Lord, my mind went totally blank. They're calling it the chest of the testimony. Ark of the Covenant is what I call it. In behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from the Holy of Holies. Now place the atonement cover lid on the chest of the testimony in the Holy of Holies. Place the table and the lampstand outside the curtain. The lampstand on the other side of the dwelling and the table, opposite on the north side. Make a screen for the door of the tent. Weave it with blue, purple, and scarlet material in fine twisted linen. Frame the weaving with 5 poles of ossia wood. Cover with a veneer of gold and make gold hooks to hang the weaving. Cast 5 bronze bases for the poles. Make an altar of ossia wood. Make it 7.5 feet square and 4.5 feet tall. Make horns at each of the 4 corners. These horns are to be one piece from with the altar and covered with a veneer of bronze. Make buckets for removing the ashes, along with shovels, basins, forks, and fire pans. Make all the utensils from bronze. Make a grate of bronze mesh and attach bronze rings at each of the 4 corners. Put the grate under the ledge of the altar at the halfway point of the altar. Make ossia wood poles for the altar and cover them with a veneer of bronze. Insert the poles through the rings on the 2 sides of the altar for carrying. Use boards to make the altar. Keep the interior hollow. Make a courtyard for the dwelling. The south side is to be 150 feet long. The hangings for the courtyard are to be woven from fine twisted linen, with their 20 posts, 20 bronze bases, and fastened hooks and bands of silver. The north side is to be exactly the same. For the west end of the courtyard, you will need 75 feet of hangings, with their 10 posts and bases across the 75 feet at the front. And at the east end, you will need 22.5 feet of hangings, with their 3 posts and bases on one side and the same for the other. At the door of the courtyard, make a screen 30 feet long, woven from blue, purple, and scarlet stuff, with fine twisted linen, embroidered by a craftsman, and hung on 4 posts and bases. All the posts around the courtyard are to be banded with silver, with hooks of silver and bases of bronze. The courtyard is to be 150 feet long, 75 feet wide. The hangings of fine twisted linen set on their bronze bases are to be 7.5 feet high. All the tools used for setting up the holy dwelling, including all the pegs in it and the courtyard, are to be made of bronze. Wow. Now order the Israelites to bring you pure, clear olive oil for light, so that the lamps can be kept burning in the tent of the meeting. The area outside of the curtain that veils the testimony, Aaron and his sons will keep the light burning from evening until morning before God. This is to be a permanent practice down through the generations for Israelites. So the breakdown of Exodus 26:1 through 27:20-21, God gives precise instructions for the tabernacle. Every curtain, altar, and lampstand. This shows that God is a God of order, intention, and holiness. I love that breakdown. Nothing is random. Worship isn't casual, it's prepared. The continual lamp burning reminds us that God's presence is meant to stay lit, not flicker based on convenience. The takeaway says if God cares about details in his dwelling, he cares about the details in your life. Matthew 25, 1 through 30. God's kingdom is like 10 young virgins who took oil lamps and went out to greet the bridegroom. 5 were silly and 5 were smart. The silly virgins took lamps, but no extra oil. The smart virgins took jars of oil to feed the lamps. The bridegroom didn't show up when they expected him, and they all fell asleep. In the middle of the night, someone yelled out, "He's here, the bridegroom's here. Go out and greet him." The 10 virgins got up and got their lamps ready. The silly virgins said to the smart ones, "Our lamps are going out. Lend us some of your oil." They answered, "They might not be enough to go around. Go buy your own." They did, but while they were out buying oil, the bridegroom arrived. When everyone was there to greet him had gone into the wedding feast, the door was locked. Much later, the other virgins, the silly ones, showed up and knocked on the door, saying, "Master, we're here. Let us in." He answered, "Do I know you? I don't think I know you. So stay alert. You have no idea when he might arrive." I can't wait to hear the breakdown on that. It's also like a man going off an extended trip. He calls his servants together and delegated responsibilities. To the one he gave $5,000, and to another 2,000, and a third 1,000, depending on their abilities. Then he left. Right off, the first servant went to work and doubled his master's investment. The second did the same, but the man with the single thousand dug a hole and carefully buried his master's money. After a long absence, the master of the 3 servants came back and settled up with him. The first one gave $5,000, showed him how he had doubled his investment. His master commended him. "Good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner." The servant with the 2,000 showed he had also doubled his master's investment. His master commended him. Good work. You did your job well. From now on, be my partner. The servant given 1,000 said, Master, I know you have standards, and you hate careless ways, that you demand the best and make no allowances for error. I was afraid I might disappoint you, so I found a good hiding place and secured your money. Here it is, safe and sound, down to the last cent. The master was furious. That's a terrible way to live. It's a criminal. It's criminal to live cautiously like that. If you knew I was after the best, why did you do less than your least? Ouch. Why did you do less than your least? I know a lot of people like that. That's really sad. The least you could have done would have been to invest the sum with the bankers, or at least I would have gotten a little interest. Take the 1,000 and give it to the one who risked the most, and get rid of the play it safe, who won't go out on a limb. Throw him out into the utter darkness. Ouch. Jesus teaches readiness and stewardship. The wise virgins were prepared. The faithful servants multiplied what they were given. The lazy one buried his talent. The message is clear: be ready, be faithful, and be productive. Delay and fear cost opportunity. The takeaway says what God gives you is meant to be used, grown, and honored, not hidden. And I applaud that. And I think one of the hardest things for me was to realize that. Well, I think one of my book, they always say that death is one of the biggest fears. And where I'm at in my life, I don't fear that anymore because I know where I'm going. But one of the second biggest fears is public speaking. And I've been doing public speaking. I've been in the beauty industry for about 25 years, and I speak to a lot of beauty schools and salons and things like that. And I've probably been publicly speaking for about 23 years. And the largest arena I've been in was almost 2,000 people. Now, granted, I was a little nervous the first time I did that. And most recently, I spoke at a beauty school graduation. They invited me to come in and paid me to speak. And there was probably, every bit of 500 people there. And that felt really, really comfortable. So I get the part that the talent of, and me doing this, there's no talent in reading a book, reading the Bible. Um, Putting yourself out there and not worrying about anyone else and what they're going to say and why I'm doing this. Like I said, Joshua, I don't mean it disrespectful, but it's not for you. I'm doing this because this is what I feel like I'm led to do. And I am honored. And I love the fact that you're here and hanging out and giving me feedback too. That means a lot to me, more than I could possibly ever tell you. And I know as this gets some traction and keeps going, there's no telling where this is going to go, but I don't do this for anyone else but him. And that's really what it boils down to. So it's not with any disrespect to anybody watching this. That is not how I mean this. I do what I do for the praise of one, if that makes sense. And the one is him. I just want to, I guess all of that to say that I'm not going to hide any of my talents anymore. The things that I'm good at, the things that I know that God has prepared me to do. So reading that has just affirmed to me that it's time to keep doing what you're doing, so to speak. Psalms 31, 1-5 says, I run to you, God, I run for dear life. Don't let me down. Take me seriously this time. Get down on my level and listen, and please, no procrastination. Your granite cave, a hiding place. Your high cliff nest, a perfect place for safety. You are my cave to hide in, my cliff to climb. Be my safe leader. Be my true mountain guide for me from hidden traps. I want to hide in you. I've put my life in your hands. You won't drop me. You'll never let me down. Psalms 31, 1-5 says, David declares total trust in God, even in distress. He chooses confidence over panic. And to your hand, I commit my spirit. This is surrender with strength, not weakness. Wow, that's good. So the takeaway says, trust in the absence of troubles. It's choosing God in the middle of it. Trust isn't the absence of trouble. It's choosing God in the middle of it. I think I said it right the first time, but we'll make sure. Proverbs 8, 1-11 says, do you hear Lady Wisdom calling? Can you hear Madam Insight raising her voice? She's taken her stand at First and Main at the busiest intersection, right in the city square. Where the traffic is thickest, she shouts, you, I'm talking all about you. Everyone out here on the streets, listen, you idiots. Well, learn good sense, you blockheads. Shape up. Don't miss a word of this. I'm telling you how to live well. I'm telling you how to live at your best. My mouth chews and savors and relishes truth. I can't stand the taste of evil. How many of y'all can really say that? I can't stand the taste of evil. I despise it. There's so many evil people and things going on in the world right now. It's crazy. You're the only one to hear true and right words from my mouth. Not one syllable will be twisted or skewed. You'll recognize this as a true you with open minds. Truth ready minds will see it all at once. Prefer my life disciplines over chasing after money, and God knowledge over a lucrative career. For wisdom is better than all the trappings of wealth. Nothing you could wish for holds a candle to her. Truth and justice. So the breakdown of Proverbs 8, 1 through 11 says, Wisdom speaks loudly and publicly. It's available to all. Wisdom is more valuable than money, status, or power. If you'll listen, it will guide your steps and protect your future. The takeaway says, chase wisdom first, and everything else finds its proper place. So I want to read that part again. Wisdom speaks loudly and publicly. It's available to all. Wisdom is more valuable than money, status, and power. If you'll listen, it will guide your steps and protect your future. So what I was saying about fasting earlier, after that day 3 or 4, it's like you can hear everything around you. It's so hard to explain. And it's not like you're starving your body. It's like you're opening your soul to everything going on. And I can't explain it to people, the euphoria state of day 3 into day 4 of just a water only fast. And I always tell people this isn't medical advice or anything, or I'm not telling you how to do that. Please consult your doctor or physician before you ever fast. I'm not telling you how to do it. I just know it works for me. We do what we do for the Lord, and all that benefits and blesses. So thank you for your dedication and helps me maintain. Man, Joshua, I appreciate that. That means a lot. It really, really does, and I appreciate you. Thank you. And looking forward to doing this more and sticking together throughout the year. And I appreciate you, and God bless you. And if no one told you or anyone else today, I love you. You guys have a better than good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Talk to you soon.